Welcome to the show. Welcome to Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. It's Mr. Marty, Mr. Marty show. Mr. Marty, the Mr. Marty show. We're going to be talking about cemeteries, ghosts and all sorts of spooky things. I'm the Mr. Marty show. Mr. Marty show. Always love it on the Mr. Marty show. All right, I'll get you away. Mr. Marty show. Mr. Marty show. Oh, Mr. Marty show. Mr. Marty show. Mr. Marty show. Live action. Live action. On the Mr. Marty show. No doubt, just look in her eyes. Yeah, no surprise comes right out. She's gonna change the world. 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 She's gonna change the world.
Mr. Marty Show. Today we are at Woodlawn Cemetery, and I'm with my friend Neil Driscoll.
Hello.
And we are at the burial grounds of a circus train that had caught fire in 1918 due to a crash. Neil, can you tell us something about it?
So the train was traveling east and in Hammond, Indiana. It had some mechanical difficulties, so they were getting it on a siding. The last car was still on the main line, and there was an empty troop train traveling at high speed, and by all the reports, the engineer had fallen asleep and ended up crashing into the back of the circus train, which caused the wood cars to start on fire because of the kerosene lamps. And the Showman's League had just purchased this plot, not realizing that they were going to need it so quickly. And the grave sites are marked unknown male 1, unknown male 2, 4-horse driver. They didn't know who their people's real names were. They had no idea of birth dates, so it just gives you their death dates on the grave sites.
And there were clowns and all kinds of showmen that were involved with the circus. And this cemetery is marked by elephants, and you can see the major elephant here. And it's quite a big lot, and they still have room to bury more circus people, and which I think is great. And I believe that we read that Buffalo Bill Cody had been made the president of the Showman's League. And what a fitting thing to do. But having been this plot just made and dedicated, and then to bury so many unknown people is really tragic and sad. But the fact that they've got room for more people that are in the circus. And now we're going to do what many people have done here. We have a coin, and when you come in dedication to this memorial, we're going to place the coins. So this is Ma Gilmore and Neil Driscoll, and we're in the cemetery, and it's a beautiful spot. May you have a good day, and as always, peace. It's a one shot.
Somewhere, right now in the world, is a little child who has never seen a Mr. Marty show. You can be the difference in that child's life. For a gift of love of $100 or more, you can proudly become a Mr. Marty enabler. Remember, all that stands between that little child and a smile on that child's face is you. Be the difference.
Segment called Only in Rogers Park, and I'm sitting with Blake Malloway. He's one half of the owners of the Malloway Brothers shop for all things witches. Is that how you would like to say it? Spells and things like that. And how many years have you been following this path?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's something we've both been doing our entire lives, just not so formal early on. And I remember Wick used to up potions in the sink using shampoo and various soaps that we had.
Cool.
or making friends with trees more seriously. And me, I would usually be found talking to a toad that had a habit of hopping up to the door in the morning, and so all these different types of things just eventually led to.
What inspired you guys to open up a shop. Now, we are now in this era, the post-Harry Potter era.
Yeah.
And anybody that has followed Harry Potter, it's kind of interesting. They never really talk about witch. It's always wizard. It's always couched in that. But the one thing that's very cool about Harry Potter is when you go to like Diagon Alley and some of these places, the number of shops, the kind of interesting thing with the candles and such. So what gave you the inspiration?
Yeah, I think, wow, that's a big question. So we started traveling to England and studying witchcraft out there. We've met with so many fantastic witches out in England that have inspired our craft, and that inspiration is what led for us originally to start doing workshops, right? We're teaching what we've learned, celebrating the seasons based on what we learned, and as we started doing more and more of that, we found the need to rent like a stable space to host these in. So we started off with a really small studio at right up the street at Lunton Sheridan, and after our lease was up there, we found our first storefront, and we were like, hey, the rent's not that much more, we just need to do a little bit of retail to expand. And since then, it just kind of exploded into the amazing space that we have now. So I want to say that our workshops with the witches out there and everything that we've learned traveling overseas has inspired why we do what we do. And then the store kind of just was a blessing or a happy byproduct of that. But that doesn't mean we don't love it. Like, our favorite thing about the store is being able to source and find all these amazing magical tools from all over the world. And for me, like, that's what keeps me motivated to keep working and pushing the stores to grow as much as we have.
Chicago is a very big city. Why Rogers Park?
It was totally by accident. I mean, I remember finding our first studio. I opened up Craigslist and it saw like, small studio, artist studio available for rent, and I sent it to my brother and he was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. And it was funny, like, it was on the first floor of an apartment building and in the lobby. So you had to like walk past our little witchcraft studio to get up to your apartment. And we were completely shocked at how many witches actually lived in this building. We kind of tried to operate, under the radar for a bit, but we eventually put a sign up on our door saying what we were. And I was just shocked at the number of people that brought, tools and herbs and incense and candles down, and they were like, oh yeah, we're witches too, like we're giving you some leftover candles, and it just blew our minds, like the number of witches that lived in this one building.
So, for somebody interested in learning more about it, what can you offer here at the Malloway Brothers?
So, we preach the operative side of the craft, like the rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands down in the dirt, and casting your spells, doing your magic. For somebody that's brand new, looking to get started in the craft, what we usually suggest is just one book. Read one of reference. That way you know what you agree with, what you don't agree with. You can build your own ideas and your own beliefs and practices from there, and then you can take that and start casting your spells, working your magic.
And is it this book or what book?
Yeah, not this book. This is our hand-bound spell book that we keep all of our recipes, potions, oils in.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Compliment you and Wick on doing such a superb job here, and you're both young guys, and so I hope you guys continue and really get Rogers Park a little more on the scary side and the spooky side.
We're gonna try, right?
All right. Well, thanks for this interview, and we're looking forward to hearing more. And once again, there it is, MallowayBrothers.com, right above us. So. Back to the Mr. Marty Show.
Hello, I'm Polly Chase. Let's watch as Martin McCormick takes us into the winter landscape of his first Christmas card painting. Here, he applies thick daubs of white paint, creating a peaked surface that reflects light and casts shadows, lending depth and realism to the scene. A little fur on the elk. And finally, I present Northern Lights. Marty created this painting as the first image in his annual Christmas card series. This whimsical winter scene is now available as a limited edition set of 15 cards for $24 plus $5 shipping. They are printed on high-quality paper and are suitable for framing. Simply put a card in a 5x7 frame, add a ribbon and bow, and you have a joyful holiday gift for a party host, business colleague, neighbor, and all your art-loving friends. Visit the gallery at martinmccormick.com to view Northern Lights and order your cards. You can email me at martyfineart@gmail.com with any questions or comments. Thanks for watching.
See that? Here lies the remains of Charles Comiskey, one of the elder statesmen in Major League Baseball, former owner of the Chicago White Sox. They named a ballpark after him. What does this have to do with a ghost story? When I was 8 years old, my dad introduced me to our national pastime. It's a love affair, an unconditional love affair I've had with the game ever since to this day. Sadly, he died 1 year later. Fast forward 15, 16 years or so, I'm back in my parents' house and sleeping in the den on a convertible sofa. It's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And suddenly I sensed something in the room and I shot up out of bed, sat up very quickly. Looked around, what was that? What was that? What is this feeling? What is this sensation? I looked to the foot of the bed. And there he was. There was my dad, walking in silhouette across the room. The ghostly form of Irving Schneider. Like in real life, he didn't say anything to me then. But I knew he was there, and I knew why he was there.
Hello to all you Mr. Marty Show fans and creeps. Tonight I have a spooky story for you about a small-town ghost named Jeff. Jeff identified himself via Ouija board at our friend Mary Ann's house. Mary Ann was an older single mom in our small town who would let us teenagers sort of run wild at her rental house, downtown North Branch, rural Michigan. Not much else to do. Ouija board was a big thing that happened at Marianne's house, so I could never get the planchette to really move myself. Jeff, however, the ghost that haunted her house, did like to harass me a little bit. Mostly Jeff was playful with me. He liked to lock me in the bathroom a lot. That was something that happened all the time. The time I really understood that Jeff was real was when I was sitting at the kitchen table and my half-gone bottle of Mountain Dew suddenly sank in on both sides as if grabbed by a hand, stayed that way for just a couple moments, and then released. Now, the creepiest thing that happened didn't happen to me, but happened to my best friend, Teresa, and my boyfriend at the time, David. A high school friend of David's, someone that both Teresa and I knew peripherally, his father had actually shot his mom and then turned the rifle on himself. And fortunately, his mom lived and our friend lived, but the father killed himself. And Jeff spoke to Teresa and David through the Ouija board the day of the funeral and asked them, "Are none of you his friend? Why aren't you there?" And told them that no matter what they believed, that death is cold and hard and coming for them.
Hello, my name is Wick, and we are sitting here on a toilet. The reason we're on a toilet is because I have a ghost story that took place in a bathroom. I'm not sure how to start this story exactly. Okay, I've always believed in ghosts, but I wasn't really the type of person who would kind of jump at every creaky pipe. So I always needed a ghost to actually show up for me, and I was always so frustrated that for so many years, nothing really appeared. Because I was waiting for it. I was waiting for something from Scooby-Doo to just kind of jump out at me. And it wasn't until this one time, sometime around fall, I remember I was sitting in my house and the lights were all out. And I was like, oh man, I gotta go to bed. But right before I go to bed, I'll just pop over to the bathroom. So I was walking around in the dark because, it's my house. I don't really need the lights or anything like that. I know it all. I'm like a rat in the maze. And then I walk in there. I start doing my business. And then I just look to my left. And clear as day, there's just a floating face right there to the left of me. And I feel like for a lot of people, like their first instinct would be something a little bit more like a jump or a scare. For me, I was just kind of a little bit insulted that I've been waiting my entire life to see an apparition of a ghost. And this is the moment that they chose, right now where I'm at my most vulnerable. So without really any second thought or anything, I just looked at him and I was like, excuse me, now is not the time for this. Please turn away, come back later. I will talk to you when I am done peeing, but you have to come back to me at another time. And the ghost, he looked at me, and it was very interesting, the actual look of this, because I remember seeing the face so clearly, and that was there. And there was kind of like a fuzzy shape of the body, but that wasn't as clear as the face. And the face just looked really confused. I think he stood there for a few minutes just watching me until he finally realized that I was making direct eye contact with him and talking to him. And I just saw him kind of look confused and jump back a little bit. And he's like, oh, okay. He didn't say that. That was in my head. I said that. But he was like, okay. And then just kind of slowly turned away. So I just saw the shape of the figure again, walking away from me while I'm standing there at the toilet. And then he looks back again over his shoulder and I'm like, yeah, go, get out of here. And then just kind of slumps his way out of the toilet. And I thought this was such an interesting first experience. So I think maybe I saw that ghost one more time, but I think he was probably more embarrassed than I was for some reason. I had a lot of confidence then. But he was more embarrassed than I was, and he really hasn't shown himself to me too many more times. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
With his nerves of steel and a sliver of blade, one scratch at a time, tiny marks are made. This haunted farm, 7 by 12 inches wide, is just the kind of place where ghouls might hide. But have no fear, this is art brought to life by Martin McCormack and his X-Acto knife. To view more of Marty's artwork, go to martinmccormick.com.
Hi, Mr. Marty fans. I'm standing in one of the most beautiful spots in Chicago. One of the first spots that I ever went to. It's Graceland Cemetery. I find it so peaceful. But did you know that in the 1800s, when the L line went by, there was a funeral car? Now you could get that funeral car and the casket would be put in, and you paid a fee for each funeral mourner going there. You paid $2. That was a two-way ticket. The casket only needed one way. So this is so beautiful. And the L line is right there, and you probably heard it before. And now that is where they would stop. They would lower the casket, bring it in, the mourners would follow, and I believe probably the Jewish cemetery, which was just across, had a funeral car also that would be lowered down. I'll have to check that one out. Now they stopped this in 1932, and the reason was that the road system got so much better, and the funeral parlors got their own hearse. So they were able to transport without using the L line. But I thought that that was such a beautiful thing to do. I could imagine myself going in a funeral car, sitting beside my loved one, and going to the most beautiful spot in Chicago. So this is Ma Gilmore saying Happy Halloween in Cemeteries, and I'll see you next week. And of course, I wish you peace from me, from you. I love you. Peace.
I took the knife, I plunged it in. I took the knife and plunged it again. You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me for all to see. I took the knife, cut open your crown, reached in with a spoon, scooped out what I found. You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me for all to see. I took the knife, carved a hideous mouth, cut out your eyes like they're popping out. You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me for all to see. get in your head. And then a match I lit.
You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me
for all to see. I took a knife and made you mine. I created life. Look how you shine.
You will obey me, become what I want you to be. You will obey me
for all to see. Happy Halloween for all to see. Happy Halloween.
Thanks for watching the show. 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 The Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. It's all about grave, the dead or undead, people who die, never know why. We might be next on the Mr. Marty Show.